Shifting focus for now, you must have often come across the words flood fury. Basically used to refer to the wrath of nature. This story is about the fury after the flood fury. Confused? Let me explain. People on the ground in Spain are furious. In fact, protests erupted on November 3 as Spain's King Philippe visited a suburb in Valencia, badly hit by last week's deadly floods. What happened next will give you a sense of how angry the locals are feeling at this point. Residents of Peporta shouted murderers at the king and queen, as well as the Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez. And it did not stop at that. It got worse. People reportedly hurled mud and other objects at them, expressing their anger over what they believe was poor handling by the authorities of last Tuesday's storm and flooding. What's behind their anger? This will give you that answer. A young man told Philippe, I'm quoting, "It was known and nobody did anything to avoid it," quote unquote. What happened then? Well, despite the chaos and the angry scenes, the king stayed to speak with the people. While the Prime Minister withdrew, he was seen hugging some residents and at one point had a man crying on his shoulder. Like I said, this tells you about what the locals are going through, their plight, their frustration, their anger. Just for context here and to give you a better sense of what things have been looking like on the ground, the tragedy is so far Europe's worst flood-related disaster in a single country since 1967, when around 500 people died in Portugal. In fact, the death toll from Spain's worst flash floods in modern history edged higher on Sunday. Almost all have been in the Valencia region, and especially in Peporta, where this incident took place. But it's still expected to rise, with dozens of people still unaccounted for. While some 3,000 households remained without power, residents are furious at the authorities, accusing them of sending late warnings about the dangers of the storm and the floods. Not just that, they also say emergency services responded slowly after disaster struck. There's also a tussle at play here. Basically, the central government has said issuing alerts to the population is the responsibility of the regional authorities. Valencia's officials have said they acted as best as they could with the information available to them. In fact, Prime Minister Sanchez has said on Saturday that any potential negligence would be investigated later. With the floods causing extensive damage to the region, many local residents are now coming together to rebuild their communities. Thousands of additional troops and police joined the disaster relief efforts over the weekend in the largest such peacetime operation in Spain. To stay up to speed with the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.